Hey, what's going on today, guys? Trey, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about my spine. It has officially been over a year since I had my L5-S1 microdiscectomy performed, which is a pretty major spinal operation. I had it performed at the age of 31. And most importantly, I've gotten a ton of questions from you all asking me how I feel today. How has life been? How has returning to work been? How has raising my son been? I want to help put a lot of you all at ease because let's be frank, having a major operation performed, it could be very scary and it can be anxiety inducing. And so my goal in this video is to help answer any questions that you have, but most importantly, to really help put you all at ease and let you know that this operation is something that I think is a great idea. I know there's a lot of people that are on the fence of whether or not they should have the operation performed or if they should just go the physical therapy route. And there's also probably some people out there that are probably wondering, should I even do anything and should I just let this thing heal naturally on its own? And so hopefully at the end of this video, it'll help provide a little bit more clarity and give you some peace of mind on deciding whether or not you should actually have the operation performed. So without further ado, stay tuned, let's get into it. So real quick before we dive into how I feel today after having my spine surgery performed, I want to give you a high-level overview of how I injured my back, how I was diagnosed, the actual surgery itself, and then we will get into how I feel today and what I did to put me in the position that I am in today physically. So in September of 2022, I went to lift a bed in my son's room. It was very heavy. It was a mid-century modern bed. And if anybody knows anything about mid-century modern furniture, or really any vintage furniture, for that matter, it is heavy. It's solid, it's heavy. And me being the dad that I am, I tried to tackle it myself. I have a max squat of 550 pounds, so I can lift a lot. But where I messed up is I had the improper form, and next thing you know, I felt like this electric shock go down my leg, and I was like, this doesn't feel too good. So in the moment, it didn't hurt, but once I felt that electric shock, I knew that something was really, really wrong. Now this happened on like a Wednesday. We had a trip planned to Paris that weekend. We went to Paris and I was just limping the entire time. And in fact, we did Disneyland Paris and then we actually walked around Paris itself. That was a extremely difficult trip. And I'm a person, I love to walk. I love to be active. I run 6 to 10 miles a day. I could not even walk from my bed to the toilet. It was a horrendous experience. And so I have an extremely high pain tolerance as well. So I knew that something was going on in my back. And the truly amazing thing about the injury itself is I didn't necessarily even feel pain in my back. There was more of this aching, stinging, pinching pain down my right leg and down my right leg only. So that's when I realized that there had to have been something going on in my spine that was causing the nerve damage in my right leg and the uncomfortable sensation. So I told my wife at the time, hey, I really need to go see a doctor because there's something really wrong here. So I found a physician in Stuttgart, Germany. By the way, I had all of my care performed in Germany, which we will get into that a little bit later. But yeah, I found a really great physician in the Stuttgart area in Germany. Basically, we had a CT scan done, we did an MRI. He really tried to diagnose the issue. So I had some mobility tests done, I had some stretching tests done, and basically when he realized that I couldn't even bend over or bend down to tie my shoe, he realized that there was something really wrong. So after actually viewing the scans and the MRI itself, that's when he saw the bulging disc. And the disc that was bulging specifically was my L5-S1, which apparently is one of the more common discs to rupture and bulge when people have spinal injuries. So at first, because I was so young at the time, and I'm still young because it's only been a year, I was 30 at the time. They told me, you know what, Trey, we want to avoid having surgery. You're a young guy, you've got a son, you've got a lot of life to live. Surgery should be the last option. My physician at the time told me, Trey, let's go ahead and try to provide you some medication and some relief via the epidural. And so if anybody knows anything about the epidural or receiving an epidural, It is extremely painful. It is horrible. It is awful. So I remember the first time I went in for my first epidural, it was a complete nightmare, guys. And I'm telling you, I'm a person that has an extremely high pain tolerance. That was a nightmare. They gave it to me in my lower back, kind of like right above my butt cheek, and it was excruciating. And really, from a relief standpoint, it did provide the tiniest bit of relief. And I'm talking like walking from the actual center itself to my car in the parking lot. As soon as I got in my car and sat down, the relief was gone. And so I went through 6 rounds of these epidural treatments. And eventually I told the doc, I'm like, look, I can't do this anymore. We just need to go the surgery route because I've got a son who I want to pick up. I've got miles that I need to run. I've got goals that I need to hit, and I need to make sure that I'm a functioning human being because right now I feel like a vegetable. So we need to please get me in for surgery. Another thing I wanted to mention too is my father actually works in radiology. And so at the time I actually sent him the images of my scans and my disc was bulging so badly. He informed me, Trey, I really don't even know how you're able to function. I don't know how you're able to walk. I don't know how you're able to lift things because this is really bad. It was severely damaged. So finally I met with the surgeon in Stuttgart and it completely put me at ease. He told me, Trey, this is gonna give you your life back. There may be a little bit of discomfort at the beginning, but most importantly, you will be able to be a functioning human being again. And once I heard that, once I heard I'd be able to run again, I'd be able to pick up my son, I can actually pick up groceries, I can actually make my bed, I was like, man, this is great. I can actually get my life back. So we scheduled the surgery. Believe it or not, I had to wait, and maybe this is just a German thing, I had to wait like almost 3 months, basically 3 months to have the surgery performed. Eventually in January, I had the surgery performed, and guys, it was a breeze. It was so simple. The surgery process in the United States, from what I hear, is completely different from the experience that I had in Germany. They kept me at the hospital for over 3 days. In the United States, I hear it's actually an outpatient procedure, but the level of care that I received from the Germans was just incredible. And I think really helped make the recovery process that much easier. Now, if anybody has been around my channel for a while, you know that my wife and I had some extremely tough marital issues. And so what was happening after my surgery, I took care of myself. My wife wasn't there for me. I didn't have anybody there to help support me or take care of me. So I did all the recovery myself. I bought some claws that I had to like use to lift up stuff. I took care of our son by myself. I did everything I could. So from a recovery standpoint, after like literally right after the operation, it was tough. You know, I think it'll be a little bit different if you have a support system around you, even if that's just a friend, even if that's a neighbor, even if, you just need like an acquaintance there to help you. I think that'll help make the immediate recovery process a little bit smoother because mine was tough because I just did not have that support at all from my wife. Another thing I wanted to mention that's very important to hit on is the pain levels. Now, I am in a very interesting predicament. I have an extremely high pain tolerance. I've experienced well over 15 surgeries. I've pretty much broken every single one of my fingers on my hands from playing sports back in the day as a kid and also as a young adult in college. So I've experienced every amount of pain that you can. And so I don't react well to pain medication. And so that's why I've just sort of grown to stay away from it and sort of suck up the pain. I don't recommend that. I think everybody should take the pain medication if you need it. But for me personally, I took 0 pain medication after my spine surgery, and I really didn't feel too bad at all. The first few days were tough. The first couple of weeks were, a little bit difficult. And also I just didn't have that support at all. So I really had to learn to adapt on my own. I had to learn to do things. I had to really test my body and push it like right to the edge of its limits. I didn't really use the cane as much as I probably should have, but I really wanted to strengthen the muscles in my spine to get back to some sense of normalcy. And I got there eventually. And so right around a month after my surgery, I felt great. Like I felt amazing. believe it or not, I could bend down, I could twist, I could rotate, I could bend down and pick up my son. And this was a month after my operation. Now, I will tell you, when you have your spine surgery performed, they're gonna give you some strict instructions. Don't bend, don't twist, don't lift anything, and most importantly, keep the physical activity to a minimum. You can go for walks, right? You can drive your car, but when it comes to like going out and participating in powerlifting competitions and running 5Ks, 10Ks, marathons, half marathons, they tell you to not do that at all. I wanted to push myself, and I'm telling you, after a month and I'm telling you right now, a month out from having my surgery, I felt incredible. I just felt like I had my life back. Something else that's very important to mention as well is physical therapy. Now, they gave me the option to actually go the physical therapy route once I had my operation performed. And I got on Reddit, I got on the Facebook groups, and I wanted to figure out, were people actually going into physical therapy after having their spine surgery performed? And I noticed a lot of people were, and what I ultimately noticed is those people ended up re-herniating their discs a few months later, a year later, 2 years later, right? And I was just like, I don't want this to happen, right? Because when you're in physical therapy, they're pushing you to your limits as well. And so I was like, you know what? I'm a pretty physically fit person. I have that support from my father that works in radiology and has all of these tools at his disposal to help give me what I need to survive and to get through this, and most importantly, recover. So I opted out of physical therapy. I just, not to say that it's a bad thing, not to say that I don't think you should go through it. I just think that you should think long and hard before you decide to invest in it, because you really don't want to put yourself back in the same predicament that you were in before you had the operation performed. And so about a month and a half to 2 months after having my operation performed, I went back and I saw my neurosurgeon in Stuttgart, and he told me, Trey, you are cleared to live your life. You can run, you can exercise. He still told me to try to limit the weightlifting, but most importantly, he told me that I can be physically fit again. So this was an exciting moment, and I'll never forget. I went on that first run again, and I threw up like crazy because it had been a few months since I had run. I couldn't run. I could barely walk. And so I went on that first run and I felt great. I had no discomfort at all, other than the throwing up, obviously. But I've had so much and felt so much relief once I was able to resume my normal life duties. And so the months after that, I continued to run. I implemented a little bit of weightlifting. I started to do push-ups. I would do a little bit of stretching. Like I felt really, really good. And I'm gonna try not to get emotional, because I couldn't lift my son before I had my back surgery performed. I couldn't. I felt like I was letting my family down because I just felt like a vegetable. I didn't feel like I was contributing that much. And, getting able to live again, this is why I always tell people, like, the surgery is going to help. Even if you don't think it will, it's going to help put you in a better position physically. And for me, it put me in a better position mentally as well. And so the months went by, eventually we hit 6 months, then we hit 8 months and 10 months, 12 months, over a year. I just feel so good. Now, in terms of weightlifting, because I know this is a big thing a lot of people are gonna ask about, I personally did not lift weights until I was about 6 to 8 months out of surgery. And so I know that's big for a lot of people because, man, like, for example, it's summertime right now. Like, we want to get our beach bods going, You can obviously go out and run. You could do the cardio aspect, but a lot of us want to lift some weights. And so my thing was like, man, when can I lift weights, right? And I wanted to get into it like 2 to 3 months after the surgery. And in fact, as soon as my doctor gave me the all clear to go and live my life, I was like, man, I'm gonna hit these weights. I'm gonna do lightweight, I'm gonna do low weight, but I'm gonna hit these weights. But I didn't want to do it. You know, I certainly didn't want to have to meet up with my doc again and let him know that, hey, this is what I did. Sorry to see you again, but we need to talk. And I just didn't want to have that conversation. And in fact, we had a joke right before I walked out after I saw him that final time. He was like, look, I don't want to see you again. So this is the last time I want to see you. And I was like, yeah, I never want to see you again either. And so it's true. I'm never going to see that guy again because I'm never going to put myself in this position ever again. So fast forward to today. So we are officially in June of 2024. I had my spine operation performed in January of 2023. So we're about a year and a half in, and guys, I don't even feel like I've had back surgery. Like, I have no pain at all, zero pain. And from a person that has had 2 ACL/MCL repairs, and I feel that every day, I'm telling you right now, when I get out of bed, I can't even tell that I had spine surgery performed. I'm officially lifting heavy weights, I'm squatting, I'm deadlifting. I am lifting some really, really heavy weights. As I told you all earlier in the video, my max squat used to be around 550, 575 pounds. So I'm a strong man. I'm a person that lifts the heavy weight. I go hard. I have historically gone hard in the gym, and this is just what I do. And I really thought after having back surgery performed, I wouldn't be able to get there again. Now, I will tell you, I'm obviously not, pushing 575, 550 pounds right now. I'm not even in the fours right now. I'm strictly staying around like the 300-pound range because I just want to get back to where I was. I need to build back to where I was. But I'm lifting. I'm officially lifting. I'm still running. I ran about 1,200 miles last year. This year I'm on track to run over 1,500 miles. So I feel good. I have my life back. Life is good. This was the best decision I ever made. Now for the most important question, and the number one question that you all ask me about my back surgery. Would I do this again? Would I have this operation performed again? I 110% would have this operation performed again. And in fact, I am pro surgery, right? I told you, I'm like a hospital's dream, right? When I walk in there, they know that I'm having some surgery performed. And in fact, I had my gallbladder removed in January. I'm getting ready to have my septum repaired because right now my septum is literally bent like this because I took a shovel to the face way back when I lived in Hawaii. And that's a whole nother story. But anyway, I used to work on a farm, nothing crazy. I'm not a violent guy, I promise. I stepped on a shovel, unfortunately, and it wham, hit me right in the face. So that's another surgery that I'm gonna have performed. I 110% recommend having the surgery performed. I think the thing that puts a lot of people in sort of this like sense of anxiety and fear is people ask themselves, man, I'm too young. Or they also say, hey, I'm too old, right? And so the example that I like to give to people is my father is an older guy, right? And so when he was about 65 years old, he had a full hip replacement performed, right? And so if anybody knows anything about hip replacements, one of the most serious operations that you could have performed, it drastically changes your life, either for the better or for the worse, but most of the time for better. But he had it performed and it gave him his life back at 65, right? And so I tell people whenever it comes down to having that peace of mind and getting your life back and being able to function again and feel like you can provide some value to the world. Not saying that you don't provide value to the world when you have a messed up back, but just imagine the things that you can accomplish when you have your health in check. It's invaluable for me. Health is always gonna be my number one priority outside of my son. But if I don't have my health, what do I have in life if I can't get out of bed and function in society? So, I really hope this video helps put a lot of you at ease. If you do have any questions for me, if I missed anything in the video, if there's anything that you would like me to cover, I would be more than happy. And in fact, I would be honored to answer any questions that you have. Because like I said, when it comes to health, this is something that is extremely serious and important for all of us. And so I wanted to give you the intangibles to feel comfortable, one, even considering speaking to a surgeon, even going into the doctor, right? Because you might be a person that is watching this video that's like, oh my gosh, I've got this shooting pain down my right leg, or I've got this shooting pain down my left leg, or I've got some discomfort in my spine. You might be, man, do I wanna have back surgery done? Let me help. I'm not a medical physician, right? I'm not a therapist, but I'm a guy that's been there and I've been through it. I've had those conversations with myself. And so I know a lot of men too can be anti going to the doctor. Man, go to the doctor. Just go take a visit, speak to me. I'm here to help, and take care of yourself. Take care of your back, most importantly. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. Spine surgery changed my life. It gave me my life back. It gave me some years that I thought I was gonna lose. It gave me that time back. I feel like a new person, zero pain. I can bend, I can twist, I can do it all. No pain at all. I would 110% recommend having this operation performed if you're on the fence. I love you guys, I miss you guys. I do need to make more videos. To my subscribers that are just watching this video because you miss me and you want to watch my content, I need to get back to making content. So this is a commitment I'm making. I want to start talking more. I miss you guys. I've got so much happening in life right now. I think you can just go back and look at my last few videos and you'll see sort of the unfortunate predicament that I'm in with my son and my we won't even talk about that, but there's a lot going on in life right now, but I'm thrilled to be alive, and I'm excited to be back in front of the camera, and I really do hope that this video helps a lot of people. So with that being said, I love you guys, I miss you guys, I hope you all are doing well. Like I said, if you have any questions for me, please leave them in the comment section below. I'm also gonna link my Instagram in the description below so you can message me there directly. I have a great open door policy. I'm not gonna abandon you. I always get back to my messages in a timely manner, so hit me up. Love you guys, miss you guys. Thank you. Mahalo for watching.